Hello, I'm going to go over your week 3 assignment. For this week, you are going to have a discussion and you have to review an article. So, what you're going to do is follow this link to the library, and then you're going to look for articles on employment practices. And it basically, what I'm looking for is, I'm just going to pull up this rubric here. It's practice for, it's basically an exercise and research practice on the topic of, topics in the course. But if you were to ever complete a thesis or a dissertation, you would need to know how to do this. So it kind of does serve more than one purpose, especially if you're going to go on to master's level courses. So what you're going to do is, in this case, it's an article review. If you were doing a dissertation, you would be doing this with several articles and doing a literature review of different articles on the topic. But for this purpose, you're doing one single article. And what you're going to do, and it kind of, this here, like for example, article is focused on a topic in HR. I mean, it pretty much tells you what to search for. Make sure that it's not an old article, that is current. Even though when you're doing the writing a thesis or doing a dissertation, you might harken back to maybe early research on a topic. Most of the time you would keep it current because things change so much. You wouldn't want to use dated previous research that had been disproven since, in the recent years when you're writing your thesis or dissertation. Now, obviously, we're not doing that for this class. We're not writing a huge paper or a huge literature review or doing, a complicated paper like that. But this is good practice, really. It's and it kind of weaves in your, like an English 102 class where it's probably your first exposure to research using sources. Okay, so just make sure you introduce the article. You cite the article in APA format. And offer a critical review. If you see holes in the article, you feel like it can be improved, please tell me why, what should be done, what should the author, what's missing, what the author isn't addressing, anything, any criticisms, please offer that. If you really think the article, advances the topic, tell me about that. It's really kind of a, just as long as your points are valid and make sense and kind of, further the analysis of the article. And then obviously why it's important to HR. So this is the rubric I'll use. It's 20% of your overall grade. Let's see. You can see in the substance area, it's talking about a student has taken a position and defended it. So, however you feel about the article, just make sure that you state that clearly and defend it with other supporting research. For example, you might find an article that states, something, and it could be the latest trends in employment. I don't know, I'm just going to say recruiting, and maybe you'll find, other articles that think that's not a good method to use, and so, I don't care if you refute or support it, just take the position and defend it eloquently. I want to see it done clearly. I want to, a lot of times what I'll see in this assignment is students posting, they'll talk about the article. They'll give me the background on the article. They'll tell me that they think it's very useful, or they'll support. They'll kind of tout it as a cutting edge research in the, the current topic, whatever that is, but they won't really put anything behind that. I want to see points and counterpoints. That sounds, or if you are really, you're really crazy about this article, look for other articles that will substantiate that one. So I want to see that. I'm looking for that specifically as far as the substance component here. Introduction, body, conclusion, APA format. I know I've been through all this before and we've already talked about the ALET produce, so just feel free to review that. And now I'm going to go to the discussion, which is, why is employee referral so important in the recruitment process? Have you been on either end of this process, and what was the experience like? You may have referred an employee, you may have been a referral. How did that work out? Kind of just describe it. If you haven't been on either end, maybe you've seen it. Someone refer someone else. Maybe there was an incident. Maybe it worked out well. Talk about it. And that's pretty simple. There's, you can also add what do you think the advantages and disadvantages of companies that rely heavily on referrals. You can talk about that too if you want to. So that's really all there is. I'm seeing great collaboration on the group study boards. I am paying attention. Whenever you post, I see an email of it, so I get to look and just make sure everything's going okay. It looks like, you're really being proactive, and that's great, because that's going to really reflect in the final product. It usually does, and it reflects well. So any questions or concerns, let me know. I'll be happy to assist you, and have a great week. Thank you.